Have you ever experienced in your relationship that everything is going great? You feel completely connected, you're enjoying one another, and then boom, suddenly you're in a full-blown argument, and what's worse, you didn't see it coming.
Bart, why are we fighting?
Communication in a relationship can break down fast. But why? What happens?
I don't want to fight.
One reason the unexpected argument can occur is when a seemingly harmless or innocent question is asked. Really? Can conflict ignite by asking a simple question?
I'm not trying to start a fight. I was asking a question.
The short answer is yes. But how can asking a simple question ignite conflict in a relationship? Today I'm going to talk about why a question can turn into a full-blown argument, and at the end of this video I'm going to give you practical tips for making asking questions a smoother process in your relationship, or really in any part of your life. You know, asking a question can sometimes be way more complicated than we are aware of. So stay tuned, because I'm going to show you with the use of movie clips how asking a question can lead to full-blown conflict. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Pam. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I love bringing these videos to you because I believe that when we thrive in our relationships, we're thriving in our life. So let's get started. Have you ever asked a question only to be met with one of these responses? Is that what you think?
Is that what you think?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Why did you ask me that?
Why are you asking me that?
Or your partner simply becomes angry, defensive, or agitated. The problem is that there are times when asking a question is not meant to gain understanding. There are times when asking a question is intentionally or unintentionally emotionally charged. It could be a manipulation of the other person to shift to our way of thinking. Would you rather spend time with your friends or have a healthy relationship with me? Or a question can be asked with judgment.
Why do you always overreact to everything?
Or it can be asked with an agenda.
Wouldn't you agree that spending Christmas with my parents is the right thing to do since we were with yours last year?
So for example, if there are issues of distrust in your relationship, a question can seem more like an interrogation.
Who are you on the phone with?
Or questions may be structured in a particular way to get the answer that you want. Or maybe you are simply seeking more information, but the person on the receiving end becomes defensive. So now what do we do?
What do we do now?
Don't worry, all of us communicate this way from time to time. But think about this. How about the question, do you love me? Seems like a reasonable question, right? Well, sometimes yes, and sometimes no. Let me share with you a couple of ways, and there are more likely more, that this question can be interpreted. First, it can be interpreted as an accusation.
Do you love me?
Meaning that the person on the receiving end of the question may hear it as questioning their love for you. Another person might hear it as a pushy question, thereby forcing an expression of love or a demand to express love.
Of course I love you.
Can you say it without looking at the floor?
I know, it's so complicated, isn't it? The person asking the question may simply be feeling isolated, or maybe they had a bad day, or they want an exchange of authentic expression of love. But the person on the receiving end may be unclear as to why one would ask such a question when they clearly love their partner. How about this question? What did you do all day? That question can be heard as, did you do anything all day?
You're probably just tired from not doing anything all day.
Or it might be heard as an accusation that you didn't do anything all day.
Did you do anything?
Here's another question. Did you go to the gym today? The person on the receiving end could possibly hear it as their partner telling them that they need to go to the gym because of their appearance. That may not have been the intention at all, but that's the point of this video. There are times when questions are misinterpreted, therefore igniting conflict. And we can't forget tone. Tone is so important when you are asking a question.
What's your tone?
You can ask it in a sort of softened tone or a playful tone. Do you love me? And that might be received well. And sometimes questions are loaded. Let's watch this movie clip.
Breakfast already?
Yes.
What'd you eat?
I had the last bagel and a yogurt.
You planning on making a grocery trip soon?
Caleb, you work 24 hours and then you're off for 48. You've got more time to go than I do.
Hey, I just asked you a simple question. You don't need to get smart with me. You could at least save me some breakfast.
This clearly was not an innocent question like he said it was. He was irritated. He asks her what she ate while he is searching for something to eat. He asks her about going to the grocery store at a time when he can't find something to eat. It doesn't seem like a curious question. It seems more like I'm annoyed I can't find anything to eat. You ate, and what about me? Not the best way to handle that. And by her response, it appears that she is annoyed that the expectation of grocery shopping falls in her lap. Let me show you one more.
What are you doing?
I'm sketching
And where are you sketching?
in the living room.
No, in my bedroom. And I didn't say anything to you, Brooke, when you so arrogantly claimed the bed without asking me. But you can't just waltz into my room and turn it into a damn art fair.
Asked, what are you doing? He wasn't curious. He was annoyed. The question is an expression of agitation. So his question had an agenda. And in both clips, there was a tone of agitation. So now that you understand the complexity of questions, what do? By the way, if you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing so I can grow, or we can grow, a community of people where we can support each other on our journey of personal growth. Okay, the first thing to ask yourself is, what is the purpose of asking my question? And you can share your purpose or your intention with your partner. I can't tell you how many times as a therapist I reassure the people that I'm counseling that I am asking a question only to understand. So like, for example, if someone is struggling in their marriage, I may want to understand why this person continues to stay in their marriage. I want to know if there's something good about their relationship that they maybe have not mentioned. I may ask, why do you stay in your marriage? My client might think that I'm asking or suggesting you should have left your marriage, and they could easily feel harshly judged.
Why do you stay with him?
And my truth is that I just want to gain further understanding. So I let them know ahead of time. I actually say to them, I am not thinking this, I am actually curious to know more and understand more. My example about asking the question, what did you do all day? I suggest that you phrase it like this. I'm interested in your day and want to hear more about it. But I know most of us don't speak this way in our everyday lives or with our partner. But the point is that we need to be clear about our intention in asking a question, as well as being prepared to step into our partner's shoes and hear the question from their perspective.
What are your intentions?
If we are on the receiving end of a seemingly loaded question, we are responsible for how we interpret it, and we can be open to the possibility that we may have interpreted differently than it was intended.
I often misinterpret how...
But in the video clip I showed you about going to the grocery store, he was agitated. She could say, I'm not sure, but I sense you are agitated here. Sort of call him out on it. Also consider timing. Timing is so important.
It's just amazing how bad your timing is.
Timing is especially important when you're going deeper, as opposed to what did you do all day? Maybe you want to ask questions about planning your future or something that is very serious. Timing is everything. So refrain from asking questions when either of you are stressed or tired or distracted. Find a calm, relaxed moment to ask questions. And again, don't forget to clarify your intention of the question. And finally, be mindful of how you phrase your questions. Rather than saying, why can't you ever remember our anniversary? You could say, how about we find a fun way to remember and celebrate our important dates together? And rather than saying or asking, why don't you ever help me with housework? You could say, could we discuss a way to share household chores that feels equitable to both of us? One more. Rather than saying, why do you never listen to me? You might say, could we work together on our communication? Sometimes I feel like my concerns are not being heard. Maybe you feel the same way. And I think that that's something both of us can take a look at. The way that I phrased the alternative questions, it's not only kinder, but they're phrased from a partnering perspective, aiming for mutual understanding and problem solving rather than sounding like blame or accusations. And they also invite the possibility for dialogue rather than conflict. I say possibility because in relationships, dialogue can be so unpredictable. Many times I have thought out what I want to say to my husband. I think it's going to go well. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm actually always surprised when it doesn't because I've given it so much thought. But that's the nature of relationships. And here's the thing, if it doesn't go well, you can feel good that you are trying, and hopefully your partner will see that too. Hang in there. I know it's hard work, but hopefully it will pay off for a happier and healthier relationship. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Feel free to share stories with me if you've experienced this challenge in your relationship in the comments section below and how you've handled it with your partner. I would love to read them. See you soon.